Until now, the evolution of SAP was mainly related to a reduction of infrastructure costs. For example, the evolution of the telecommunication costs. Or for example, the cost of infrastructure. The machines become cheaper. And a second way of evolution is related to frustration. Some stuff is too complex. For example, when SAP introduced new components like the SRM component or the CRM component, there was a need to create a central analytical system, like for example the BW system. And now in 2007 we have a revolution, the only revolution in the whole story. And this revolution is the iPhone. The iPhone will forever change the way we work with IT. We can ask ourselves, what is now the link between the iPhone and SAP? Until 2007, when you were doing IT activities, you were doing them at the office. It was at the office that you had the most advanced IT infrastructure, IT services. And now, all of a sudden, in 2007, the iPhone will give us a more convenient, a more emotionally positive experience with IT on the iPhone. So SAP will have to adapt to that because the consumers change their expectations. Consumers want to have the same type of positive experience with business applications. And so SAP is going to, in a first phase, mainly allow to run SAP applications on a smartphone, on a tablet, not only on a PC. So SAP has to be able to run on any device. And in the same period, we do not only have a revolution with the iPhone, we also have a more normal evolution of the story. In the beginning of the story, we talked about the expensive telecommunication costs. And then these costs went down. Then we had a standard platform of communication. This was the internet. Then we used standard services on the internet. And now the internet is perceived as mature enough that even applications are going on the internet. These are cloud applications. SAP will invest in cloud applications. Ariba Network is a sourcing platform. SuccessFactors allows a company to manage its HR processes. Fieldglass is an application for subcontracting services. Concur is an application for travel expense management. And finally, Hybris is a commerce platform. And SAP will also develop their own cloud applications. For example, C4C, Cloud for Customer. C4C is a customer interaction platform. IBP, Integrated Business Planning, is another application. And SAP will develop many other cloud applications. Now we have to position those cloud solutions into the solutions dimension. To position the cloud solutions, I'm going to divide the business suite into different parts. The first part is the Procurement Processes part. In that part, we will find the MM module that is part of ECC. In the MM module, we do operational procurement activities. Also, SRM is part of the procurement part. SRM, the Supply Relationship Management component that supports regional procurement activities. And now we will add a third layer. We will add the cloud applications in this part. For example, the Ariba network that allows the procurement of services and products. Concur that allows the procurement of travel activities. And Fieldglass that allows the procurement of subcontracting services. The next part are the customer-facing processes. In here we will find the SD module of the ECC component. SD, or the Sales and Distribution module, handles all operational sales and billing activities. Also here is the CRM component, or the Customer Relationship Management component. This CRM component is the central place of all interactions with customers. And now we will add this third layer, the Cloud Applications layer. And in this layer we will find the Hybris applications, where we have all kind of commerce or sales and commerce processes in the cloud. We also have C4C application, the Cloud for Customer application. That is a kind of an interaction, customer interaction platform. You could say it's a little like a CRM in the cloud. C4C. And SAP is going to buy a number of other customer-facing cloud applications that SAP will rebrand into C4HANA or Customer for HANA. Another part is the production processes part. In here we will find the PP module of the ECC component. The production planning module allows us to planify and to execute local production activities. Also in the part is the SCM component. SCM stands for Supply Chain Management, and this Supply Chain Management component allows us to manage the production activities on a regional level. Finally, we will now add the third layer or the cloud layer with the IBP application or the Integrated Business Planning application. The IBP allows us to planify through a cloud application all our production activities. The last part is the Human Resources Processes part. In this part we will find the HR module of the ECC component. HR or the Human Resource module allows us to manage all kinds of employee processes. If we want to do these processes into the cloud, SAP proposes the SuccessFactors cloud application. Around 2007, when we have this iPhone revolution and the cloud evolution, SAP understands they don't have a next generation ERP yet. Because by design, this new product, this is a good product, but the issue with by design is that you cannot go from the business suite, the previous generation, to the next generation. You have to start over. So this is a lot of work, and so customers don't want this. So SAP has to think about what will be its next generation ERP. And to create the foundation of the next generation ERP, Mr. Hasso-Plattner, one of the founding fathers of SAP, will create a new university department. This new university department is called the Hasso-Plattner Institute. And this Hasso-Plattner Institute consists of about 30 different PhD students, and SAP will ask them, or Mr. Plattner will ask them, think with me how to build the new generation ERP. After about 2 years of reflection of the Hasso-Plattner Institute team, they come with a vision. And the vision of the future is the ERP should be real-time. The SAP ERP should be able to answer all its questions in real-time. Analytical questions, transactional questions, everything should be real-time. Do you really need 2 years with such a group of bright people to come with an answer like that you just need a faster system? But it's more complex than that. It's really to be compared with planes. Where we have those planes running on propeller engines, and then this bright group of people, they say, hey, we need a jet engine. And the question is not only, we need a faster engine, but also what is the impact of the engine on the plane? And then what is the impact of those new planes in the transport economics? Transport becomes cheaper, and it changes our life. The question for SAP is, this new engine, how will this engine impact the ERP, the plane? And then how will this ERP impact the global economy? To realize the vision of the university, SAP will buy a big company of engine builders. A company that has more than 2,000 engineers in building databases. This company is Sybase, and they will realize the new engine. And this product will be launched in 2009 and is called HANA, or the Hasso's New Architecture. 2007 period will initiate a new megatrend. Until now we have globalization as a megatrend. Companies become global. But now, with the iPhone, with the cloud, with HANA, we have a new megatrend. And the megatrend is digitalization. The world becomes digital. To implement the new needs of the digital world, where we need to be able to run on any device and be able to process a lot of data, SAP is going to propose a first version of a digital ERP. The technology that SAP is going to use to implement those new digital needs is based on a 4-tier architecture. One of the needs of a post-iPhone software is that it has to be a convenient and emotionally positive user experience. In the previous architecture, in the three-tier architecture, the user interface was mainly the PC. Now, in the four-tier architecture, we not only have PCs, but we also have to be able to run on tablets, on smartphones, and even on watches. In the three-tier architecture, ABAP is responsible for managing the user interface, is responsible for managing the fields on the PC screen. Now, if ECC, the central ERP system, has 200,000 programs, and now you need to manage 4 sizes of screens, it would mean that in the three-tier architecture you would have to manage 800,000 programs. And that's not the way to do. To solve the issue of having to manage 4 different sizes of screens, SAP and the IT industry will split the UI logic from the business logic. About 10% of a typical ABAP program represents the screen logic, the UI logic. So if you split the UI logic from the business logic, only those 10% have to be managed in 4 different ways. The 90 other percent of logic is the same. The UI logic will be written in JavaScript that will create HTML5 applications. The business logic will reside on the application server from the previous architecture, from the three-tier architecture. And this business logic is and will stay in ABAP. The last layer in the four-tier architecture is the database layer. In the previous architecture, the three-tier architecture, any database could be used. But now, with the invention of HANA by SAP, SAP will only use HANA as the only database of the new four-tier architecture. The first digital ERP based on this new four-tier architecture that allows multiple screens and that is based on the HANA database is called Suite on HANA. Suite on HANA is fundamentally based on the Business Suite, and the Business Suite has a number of fundamental problems, fundamental issues that the next generation ERP should not have. The first issue of the Business Suite is related to the user interface. The user interface paradigm is based on a paradigm of the 90s. In the 90s, when you made an activity, you used one transaction. So for example, when you want to sell within the SAP environment, you use the VA01 transaction. But this is okay when you have 1,000 customers in the 90s. But today, 25 years later, 100,000 customers, worldwide leader in ERP, in all the industries of the world, 80% of the GDP running on SAP. Can you imagine everyone using VA01? So VA01 is a very rich, very complex transaction. The next generation ERP wants to be an iPhone app. Convenient, emotionally positive, simple. So how can we change that? The next issue is again the user interface. But this time not how to use an application, but how it looks like. When SAP built its different components, they were built in different periods. And because of that, those different components don't look alike. The ECC component has its way of presenting information. The SRM component has another way of doing it. CRM, again, another way of doing it. So there is not one look and feel of SAP applications. Not like with Office, where Excel, PowerPoint, Word, they all look alike. So there is a need for a harmonized overall user interface. The third issue is about the application architecture, the application landscape. There are so many components in the SAP landscape. For example, when you are a small customer, you at least have an ECC, you probably have a BW system, you have a mandatory solution manager, and perhaps you have a couple of other components. So let's assume you have 5 components. But each component has 3 versions. You have a development version, a quality inspection version, and a production version. So this small customer has already 15 systems to maintain. Now, this is a small customer. When you are a big SAP customer, you have hundreds or even thousands of systems to maintain. So the question is, how can we simplify the landscape? How can we reduce the number of systems? The fourth issue is related to the analytical reporting. In the business suite, typically you will use the BW component to do reporting. Now, BW needs its information from the source systems. So a typical BW customer will take a picture out of the source system in the evening to be consumed the next day. Now, the issue with that is that if a big customer order changes in the morning, you only know it the next day. So BW somehow is always too late. We need a solution. The modern ERP needs a real-time analytical solution. The fifth and last issue is related to the new needs of the digital world. The digital world creates a huge amount of data. So it means that the next generation ERP, the modern ERP, needs to be able to manage a huge amount of data in a very fast way. This is the end of Season 1. In Season 2, we will discover the digital ERP, or we will discover what SAP will build on top of HANA. See you there.